Okay. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order and do the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that Dysart et al. Is located in the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory and in the territorial district territory of Mississauga and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaty First Nations, which include Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog, Rama, Boswell, and Georgina Island First Nations. These ancestral homelands are more than a place where the Anishinaabe hunted, fished, gathered, and grew their food long before the settlers' arrival. Indigenous people cared for their lands and waters and have welcomed us as their guests. Excuse me. We pay them respect by ensuring we continue to recognize their ongoing connection to the area and by supporting the health and integrity of the lands and community for generations to come. Could I have a resolution to adopt the agenda?
Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dysart et al. Held on February 14th, 2023 be approved as presented.
I have a mover and seconder. Councillor Walt and Pat. All in favor? Good. Welcome, Tammy and Nancy. Okay. Is there any disclosures of pecuniary interest or general nature? Hearing from Barry and Pat.
Yeah, I'm going to step away from the Halliburton shoreline preservation bylaw. I don't want to be perceived as any bias from things that have happened in the past with the Home Builders Association and stuff, which I belong to in my line of work. I don't think there's any monetary issue there, but I don't want to, perception is make sure it's up above board here. I'm the same, Murray.
That's great.
We'll sit out.
Okay, guys, that's good. Thank you. Okay, can we have a resolution to adopt the minutes?
Be it resolved. Sorry, I'm not turning on my microphone. Be it resolved that council approves the following meeting of minutes as circulated. Regular meeting of council, January 24th, and public meeting, January 24th.
Could I have a mover and seconder? Nancy and Tammy, all in favor? Carried, thank you. The Walt, do we have anything to report from the county? I think the major issue going on is on the 28th of February, we're having a meeting to try and get some of the principles for the cottage rental business in place so that it can come here and hopefully we get a bylaw that works and we adopt that at this council level. Okay. We're not able to entertain Mr. Brown at this time. Okay. So is Dan ready for his report then?
Lori, I'll have to bring him in. So
Oh,
just give
she
her a
will,
sec.
okay. Okay, Lori, can we bring Dan in?
Greg, can you hear me okay?
So. So can you bring Dan in then? We'll just carry on.
Good morning. Can everybody see me and hear me?
Yeah, it's good, Dan. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I've got a real basic report here this month. Was waiting to hear from budget. So thank you very much. I'm glad I get the opportunity to say thank you very much for getting that taken care of so that we can go ahead and looking into our PPE, personal protective equipment this morning. And so as you can see, our call volume is down a little bit from last January. Nice to see that that's medical calls that have dropped. Unfortunately, it means the other emergency calls haven't dropped. And we are, unfortunately, appears to be right on schedule as far as aiming for approximately one call a day for the year again. So just to give a heads up, we've going to continue to be busy. So is there any questions on anything there?
Any questions? No? That's good then, Dan.
Oh, sorry, I think see Nancy.
Nancy, sorry.
Thank you. I just wanted to reach out to Dan and thank him as well as all the volunteers who went all day and all night over the weekend. That's a lot of commitment and it was probably made up for many days worth of calls. So just I want to impart on behalf of council our thanks for all those volunteers and their commitment.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you very much. They really do a lot coming at the middle of the night. We've had several late night calls in the last little while here. So some of them are still recovering, trying to catch up on their sleep. So thank you very much.
Okay. I didn't even know about that. I hate to say. Okay. Okay, that's good then, Dan. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're ready for John then.
Resolution. Do the resolution.
Yes, resolution, sorry.
Be it resolved that council acknowledges receipt of the fire department report for January 2023.
Mover and seconder, Walt and Barry, all in favor? Carried. Okay, now we're bringing John in.
Good morning. So this first report that I'm presenting is a report for information. It's our 2022 Waste Management Annual Summary. So this report will kind of summarize all the things that we did last year, which included conducting a 4-season waste composition study at the Haliburton landfill, which is financed by the Ontario Municipal Modernization Fund and subsequently funded by the Continuous Improvement Fund. Some of the things we learned from that waste composition study was that food waste and organics make up 38.03% of the garbage that we are managing. In addition, we implemented the 12-week food cycler pilot project to 100 homes that was selected through a lottery. And those participants were doing weekly logs and 3 surveys. And the report does summarize some of the results from those surveys, but the one that's interesting is that 98.55% of participants felt Dysart should continue to offer the food cycler as a way to manage household food waste. We also hosted for the first time in partnership with the Dysart's Parks and Recreation Department, the first ever New to You community yard sale. There were 30 households that participated in that and was a very successful event for people to hold garage sales or yard sales in the parking lot of the arena. We implemented a textile recycling program at our 5 landfill sites. And when that program was implemented in August through to December, we diverted 5.12 metric tons of textiles away from landfill. We also conducted a survey of the waste management practices of local businesses and organizations in partnership with the other lower tier municipalities in the county. And we implemented a 4-week commercial recycling field study at the Haliburton and West Guildford landfills, which was funded by the Continuous Improvement Fund. In addition, we hosted household hazardous waste days, and I'll speak a bit more about that in a second report. We continue to promote the diversion of food waste through the sale of backyard composters, digesters, and the food cyclers. We partnered with ULinks and Fleming College's Sustainable Waste Management Program on a food waste reduction strategy. And we also did a lot of promotion education efforts to ratepayers, including social media, print advertising, the waste sorting guide, which is included in the tax bill to ratepayers. We redid the artwork on the public space recycling bins. We continue to use our web app and mobile app. We delivered an educational workshop to the Rotary Club of Haliburton and also wrote guest columns for a County Life newspaper. Dysart staff were also asked to present at 2 conferences, one being the Association of Municipalities Ontario Conference in August 2022. We were one of 3 municipalities asked to present, including the City of Ottawa and the County of Dufferin. And we also presented at the Municipal Waste Association on effective promotion education in a small rural community. Dysart continues to liaise with many industry associations, including AMO, Continuous Improvement Fund, the Municipal Waste Association, Resource Productivity and Recovery Authority, and the Solid Waste Authority Association of North America. In terms of vehicle counts, our 5 waste management sites recorded 174,024 vehicles. It represents a 15% decrease in vehicle traffic compared to the year previous, and kind of returns our vehicle count to pre-pandemic levels. In 2022, we managed 8,866 metric tons of waste, which includes recycling, household hazardous waste, and garbage. It represented a 23% increase in metric tons managed. There was a 4% decrease in the blue box materials that we managed, a 34% increase in construction and demolition waste that we've talked about previously during budget. There was also a 26% increase in the amount of garbage hauled, and partially that is because for all of 2022, we were hauling garbage out of West Guildford landfill, which we had not been doing the year previous because we no longer have landfilling capacity at West Guildford landfill. It should be noted that construction and demolition waste makes up 60% of the total waste that Dysart managed in 2022. In terms of revenue and expenses, in 2022, Dysart earned $918,000 in waste management revenue and incurred $2,895,000 in waste management expenses. And there is a breakdown of kind of what those fees, those revenues and expenses are. And all of this work that we're doing obviously relate to a number of plans, whether it be our strategic plan, the corporate climate change mitigation plan, our short-term waste management review, the service delivery review, and the Haliburton County service delivery review. So we're well on our way in terms of meeting some of the expectations of those plans and strategies, and continue to manage waste to the best of our abilities here in Dysart.
That's a very comprehensive report, John. So any questions? I'm quite amazed at the amount of compostable material that's going into the landfill there. So any discussion on that first report? So we have a resolution on that.
Be it resolved that council received the 2022 Waste Management Annual Summary for information.
Mover and seconder. Carmen, Barry, all in favor? Carried. Okay, household hazardous waste days, John.
Yeah, so each year Dysart hosts household hazardous waste days, which enable residents to drop off at no cost household hazardous waste such as automotive batteries, gasoline, paint, pesticides, and used motor oil. Due to provincial regulations, these events are for residents only, and hazardous waste from businesses and organizations need to arrange for their own private hauling and processing of hazardous waste. In 2022, Dysart issued a request for proposal, an RFP for the collection, transportation, and processing of hazardous waste. Buckham Transport was selected as the preferred vendor. And then in addition, in 2022, the 4 lower tier municipalities signed a intermunicipal agreement that allowed its residents to cross municipal boundaries and attend any of the events taking place within the county. So in 2022, we hosted 3 events. 485 Dysart households attended our 3 events, and then 80 Dysart households attended events in the other lower tier municipalities. At the 3 events that Dysart hosted, 25.5 metric tons of household hazardous waste was collected and processed. In 2023, we're again planning to host 3 events at our landfill sites. Saturday, July 8th at Haliburton landfill, Saturday, August 19th at Harcourt landfill, and Saturday, September 16th at the West Guildford landfill. Through the intermunicipal agreement, Dysart residents will be able to attend any of the household hazardous waste events hosted by the other municipalities. There's a list of those dates in the council report. There's potentially an additional one being added. So there's probably 12 events in total, starting in May through to October, that Dysart residents and any residents of the county will be able to attend. And all of this information will be promoted to the public through some various promotion and education materials, such as media release, public service announcements, print advertisements, and social media posts. And all of this was budgeted in the 2023 budget.
I'm just curious, how do you know when they're going to another hazardous waste day, they're residents of the county?
They have to show their landfill identification user card, so staff are tracking which municipality they're coming from.
Okay. Okay, oh, that's good. That's a lot of- Okay, any questions or concerns there? Okay, resolution then, please.
Be it resolved that council received this report for information about the 2023 household hazardous waste days.
Mover and seconder. Carmen, Walt. Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy and Tam, I don't see you guys quickly enough. Anyway. You got mover and seconder, but let's
Carmen,
Tammy and Nancy. All in favor? Carried. Okay,
All right, and my final report is back in September, it was announced that Dysart was the recipient of a funding grant from the Carton Council of Canada to implement a public awareness project under the campaign theme Recycling is Easy. One of the initiatives in that campaign was to implement an interactive digital waste sorting game. And I'm happy to share with you that today we are officially launching our waste sorting game, which you can visit on our website, dysartedal.ca/waste game. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see it in action. This is the example of the game. In it, users test their waste sorting knowledge by dragging over 110 different items into the correct bin. So just to show you, so in this case, cardboard boxes, this can go into recycling for papers. I get it right. Cheese, if I was to say it would go into recycling for containers, I get a bump up saying it's not correct. And that's actually going to go into our garbage. After you complete each level of the game, you get to add an item to a digital park. And after completing the 5th level of the game, users can print a certificate of achievement. And if you notice in the background of the game, you can see some local landmarks as well. This game can be accessed using computers, laptops, and mobile devices. It was developed by Recollect Systems, which also creates the Waste Wizard web app on our website and the Haliburton County Waste Wizard mobile app for Apple and Android devices. And while the playing the game is anonymous, behind the scenes, I have access to some aggregate metrics to help me understand the number of times the game has been played, the number of completed games, the average completion time, the number of certificates printed. And I also have information about what materials residents were getting correct and incorrect as they played the game. And that can lead to enhanced promotion education. If I know there's maybe one item that is troubling people, then I know I need to target that in promotion education efforts. In terms of P&E promotion education, we'll be promoting the game through media release, public service announcements, and print advertisements starting today, social media, signage at our landfill sites, and we'll be working with the schools and the libraries to help spread the word about this new waste sorting game as well. And this was accommodated in the 2023 budget funded through the Carton Council funding project.
Well, that's interesting. It's a really good exercise for students, for sure.
Yeah, and I would definitely encourage everyone to give it a try. I've had a few people play it and they've always been amazed at what they get right and maybe what they get incorrect. And it's just a great learning opportunity for everyone to really practice their waste sorting skills.
Yeah, thank you. Any discussion on that? Go ahead, Pat.
Not so much on that, John, but I'm kind of rewinding here a little bit. John, is it a huge, I'm going to answer my own question maybe, is it a huge chore to give us a monthly update, just kind of, I'm going to say roughly like the fire department, where you can give us kind of an outlay where we're at in terms of tonnage volume and cash in and cash out? Does that put a mountain on your plate? I'm just trying to see if there's an avenue we could stay kind of on track with where we're in our spending versus our budgets moving ahead with that dumps, I guess, on that note.
Yeah, we can definitely provide some tonnage information and revenue and expenses. It maybe will be a month behind just based on when we receive invoices and tonnage information, but we can definitely do that going forward.
Okay, I know you got a lot on your plate. In Haliburton, how many people is there on staff at the Haliburton dump?
Haliburton landfill has 3 landfill attendants.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, resolution.
Be it resolved, the council received this report for information about Dysart's new waste sorting game funded through Dysart's successful application to the Carton Council of Canada's request for expressions of interest.
Mover and seconder. Pat and Carm, all in favor? Carried. Okay, I understand, Mr. Brown is ready.
This is all.
Is he on? Not on? Okay, we'll move ahead then to Rob, or to Carl rather. Can you communicate with him at all? Greg? Why don't you just tell him to come here next month? If we can't look at it anyway, there's snow all over it. Okay,
Good morning, council.
good morning, Carl.
So we have the building department report, building permit report for January. January shaping up to be a typical year of our new workload years. So January 27 permits, construction value is fairly high, permit fee intake comparable to last year. Average daily inspections. It's not noted on this because we need at least 2 months to show anything, but it's basically in line with last year as well. Any questions with the building permit report?
Pretty clear, I think. Any questions for Carl? Carl, you've had 3 pretty busy years, haven't you?
Yeah. I do have some additional information to share with council if you want, just a verbal
Sure.
update on some things. So we do have our local training opportunities are continuing here with Dysart. Coming up, the next notable, our last one of the year is the Part 8 sewage systems course. So this is happening. It's starting March 20th, and the registration form is going to be available on our website very shortly. We are going to be exploring opportunities to do radio commercials, those types of things to advertise it, because we do want more people to attend this one. This is going to be hopefully our most popular course. We're trying to get more people involved in the industry of septic systems, either in the design or the installation. Even anybody who wants to be a third-party inspector. We want to get those people trained as well. We do notice that there are a few installers out there that are using other companies' qualifications to install. So we want to get those people all on board, get them qualified, because you do require a qualified site supervisor during the installation of a sewage system. And again, our sewage permits have jumped significantly since our reinspection program, and we do need more installers out there. We just don't, we don't have the capacity with our current installers to fulfill the need that's needed right now for replacement systems, upgrades, and repairs. So hopefully we can get that information out there with regards to that course. We're also working on the RFP for demolition of the Wigamog Inn and associated buildings on that property. So we're meeting tomorrow to go over and a draft RFP that will hopefully be ready soon. I know council has been asking for updates on that fairly regularly. So that's essentially where we are at this point. It's not moving as fast as I would have anticipated, but it is moving ahead regardless. What else? We are assisting Highlands East with building inspections on Thursdays. If you see us out in the Highlands East area, that's what we're doing out there. they've, I guess they're getting a company out of Guelph to do remote inspections, so video inspections, and we're just filling in those areas where they don't have the capacity, either Wi-Fi or cellular service in those areas to do remote inspections. So that's what we're doing on Thursday afternoons.
Well, I'd like to thank you for that. That's being a good neighbor and helps them through a jam. So that's good that you're doing that. Any questions on what Carl has reported there? No, it's all good then. Okay, resolution.
Be it resolved that council received the January 2023 building permit activity report as information.
Mover and seconder. Pat and Carm, all in favor? Carried. Okay, thank you, Carl. You're going to try one more time.
All right. Hello, good morning, council.
Morning.
Oh, is that Murray?
Yes. Yeah, good morning.
Sorry, but yeah, I really don't know what all took place here, but anyway, now I'm trying to get back to see you fellas and ladies. Oh, shucks. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, can you see me?
No.
No? All right. And of course, Danielle just took off, but you can hear me, I guess.
We can hear you, so just go ahead with your report.
Okay. Well, good morning, Councillor, Mayor and Deputy. I appreciate what you're doing there, and sounds like you got a full schedule ahead of you. I hope it's an enjoyable day for you. I don't know how many of you may have received a key map in the last couple of days from me, just kind of identifying where Stothard Creek is. Most people probably know, but I certainly wouldn't blame others that don't know so clearly. Did anyone not get a copy of that?
No, I think we all got it. I think it came through.
All right, great. On the delegation report that I sent to you, do you happen to are you able to pull that up? It was just maybe about 2 or 3 pages in length. And one of the first things was a map of Stothard Creek. Can everybody find that? I just would like to make reference to it, please.
Yeah, I think everybody got that. Yeah, we've got it.
Okay, so just what I'm coming to talk to you about is the parkland allocation that was agreed upon 30 years ago, actually 1992, when the draft plan approval for Stothard Creek was signed with the municipality. And at the time, as is typical with the provincial legislation, there's something called parkland dedication. And on my property, you'll see on the map of Stothard Creek, lot 12, just south of Stothard Creek, and that's kind of bottom right, and then lot 38, which is the extreme left top corner. Has everybody got that map to look at?
Yeah.
So the total area of these 2 lots that were, I guess, probably somewhat arbitrarily chosen, at the time. The total area of those two lots is about 2.1 acres. The average size of, or the minimum size of the lots at Stoddard Creek had to be 1 acre under plan of subdivision. So these were the two lots that were agreed upon way back when. And basically what I wanted to talk to you briefly about today is the possibility of exchanging these two 1 acre lots for the area right through the center of the subdivision, running east and west on either side of the creek, which totals just around 7 acres. And just to give you a comparison, that 7 acres is just slightly larger than Head Lake Park and Rotary Beach Park combined. There's an aerial picture of what the parkland looks like in the winter. If you scroll down in what I sent to you, and we've already started to develop this parkland. It has been in the plan since before draft plan approval. But if you look at the aerial view, which is a winter shot, you'll see one of the 3 current walk bridges in the bottom right-hand portion of the creek. And the creek bed, the parkland, is actually about 350 feet wide at the west end, which would be the left-hand end on the map. And the narrowest area is right up near Hillman Road, which is the right-hand side of the map. And it's about 50 feet wide at the narrowest point between survey stakes. Just to scroll down past the aerial view, you'll see that the parks have been, or the trails have been initiated by Trails Hiking and Trails Haliburton. And that was 2 or 3 years ago that took place, but and they're being used throughout the winter as well as through the summer. And if you scroll down further, you'll see it was a promotion from back in 1990. And the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see something that's called the Parkland Concept, which is a picture of basically what we wanted to do back in 1992, and all things being as they have been for the last 30 years, we're only now getting started on, putting together what we'd like to do. I just wanted to maybe hesitate for a moment and see if anyone had any questions.
Greg, I thought when that subdivision was passed that the parkland was for the use of the people in the subdivision. Well, how many lots are all there altogether?
A total of 41 lots.
Yeah, that's what I thought, around 40. So would the people in that subdivision want the general public coming in there and using that park? I would wonder about that.
I would say I haven't asked them that, but I haven't made any innuendos that the parkland was private in any way.
No.
In fact, if you look at the subdivision map, Murray and councillors, you'll see that there's actually 7 public accesses to the parkland, 2 on the right-hand side of the screen at the end of the parkland, and then 2 more on the left-hand end of the parkland. And you'll see the dotted green lines that flow from east to west on either side of the parkland. And then there's 3 3-meter public accesses, one between lots 16 and 17, another one between lots 27 and 26, and a third one between lots 19 and 18. And the picture that we have there of Barry Martin and Pat Kennedy and my three boys, that location is actually between lots 18 and 19. So these are all 3-meter access points from the municipal roads, and those 3-meter accesses are also owned by the municipality, or they were deeded to the municipality with the roads.
Okay.
So to answer your question, I don't anticipate that there'll be any. I've never been asked that question by any of the residences, whether or not it's private. We've always allowed a lot of people from the village go there to walk their dogs. They have for decades, you know, and that still continues to happen. And I don't think, I've never given any innuendo that this was a private park, and that was not our concept from the beginning. It was to be something that was available to the public. The other thing that it could actually happen, we're obviously, according to the key plan, we're very close to the settlement area, and immediately to the west of this property, which would be the left-hand side of the map, there is an open concession, which again, on the other side of that open concession is the Dysart Public Works Yard, and that open concession goes right down to the corner of 118. So it would be tremendous if, you know, down the road, if there were more walk paths from going around the lake in Haliburton, if they wanted to be extended and tied into the Stoddard Creek Trail, that's another possibility. But that's just on the wish list kind of thing.
Yeah, that's in the future for sure. Long ways away, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, yeah.
so what you're proposing here is to trade lots. That's what you're asking council to consider.
Yes, that's true. Like, I mean, the existing lots 12 and 38 don't have any particular parkland curb appeal. I guess one's quite flat, lot 38, and lot 12 is a pretty generic piece of property as properties go at Stoddard Creek. But we'd hope to develop the dream, as it were, that we've had for the last 30 years and make this and we do have agreement with the with the M&R. Like, we worked on this for quite a while with Stan Fleming. There's a paragraph at the end of my submission here.
I saw that.
I really wanted to flood the whole area from the lower creek crossing, which would be on the left-hand end of the map, flood it right back to Illman Road. There's only 10 feet of rise between the two roads. It's very flat, over a half mile. And I was hoping to have just dammed it off and made a lake, but M&R said there's a resident brook trout population there. You're not allowed to do that, but you can put walk paths on both sides and as many walk bridges as you want, because it provides more shade for the brook trout and keeps the water cooler and so on and so forth. So, excuse me, and I did include a copy of the study that M&R did as part of the draft plan approval, and the recommendations on how Stoddard Creek should be managed as far as the fisheries go. And that's something that we're quite interested in doing, and posting signs like the live catch and release program, and basically taking care of the fisheries.
Okay, I think we understand what you're asking there. Where do we stand with the roads right now?
The roads in the south, in the first phase, that's everything south of the creek, which include 22 of the 41 lots are south of the creek. And I had that all ready to be assumed, but in late November, Rob Camelon informed me that I needed to have a peer review of the roads. So
Okay.
all the A gravel has been placed and graded by Fowlers, and Rob is happy with that. But the peer review information was only given to me like about a month and a half after Fowlers were done in there, and it was too late in the year to have that done. I have a company engaged for the spring as soon as the snow comes off, at which point the roads could be assumed in the first phase, and there is actually $100,000 deposited with the municipality until such times as those roads are assumed by the municipality. And that would only be the loop that starts in the bottom right-hand corner of the map and goes up as far as basically lot 15, and then goes along Stother Creek Road, and then returning back to Illman Road along Brook Trout Run Road.
Are you-
Basically,
Greg, are you surfacing
Hello?
those roads? Are you hard surfacing those roads?
no, to my knowledge, that's not part of the subdividers agreement, Murray.
No, but it's certainly an option for council, because somebody is going to have to, and I guess that's why we're holding security. So,
No, actually, the security is being held because that's the terms of the subdividers agreement until such times as the roads, according to the wording of the agreement, until such times as the roads are brought to the municipal standard, which have been basically, I was told since May of last year, was to have the A gravel 6 inches thick, and to say it.
do we not hold lots? Do we not hold some lots in that subdivision?
You hold additional lots in the north, the second portion, the second phase, and that security, which is on lot 35, 34, 33, and 32. Those lots are being held as security, and the security in phase 1 is represented by the $100,000 that I have put on, submitted to the municipality for road security in the south portion, phase 1.
Okay, so we're at a bit of a disadvantage for us to go look at lots because there's snow covered, as you know.
Yeah, there is road access to all of these lots.
Yeah, I've been in there.
And they are being plowed as well, Murray.
Okay. So we have 4 lots in the second phase that we're holding as security.
That's correct. Yes, lots 32 to 35.
Okay. All right, well, I think we're going to, do you have anything else to add here? Because we're going to discuss this a little later. And probably you won't be able to get the roads looked at now until probably April.
That's
Peer review,
correct,
I'm talking.
which is
Yeah.
quite understandable. It's just regrettable that I wasn't told
Yes,
that the peer review was required. But anyway, I would say in reference to the parkland that it's all surveyed, and it's delineated very clearly by the topography as well. And it is 7 acres, and it would be quite a beautiful asset for the municipality. And I rather hope that they can look at that,
Yeah. Well, for sure, we'll probably have a look, and probably when the snow goes or close to that time, and we'll discuss it for sure. Greg, anything else you need to add?
Okay. Well,
How's the weather in Singapore?
well, it was warm. back here melting snow everywhere I go now. I just got back into Toronto last night, so
Oh, did you?
anyway, yeah. So we're in a hotel right now, but
Okay.
the only other thing I would say, Council, like I appreciate all the expenditures that Dysart has on roads and parklands and everything else, and I realize that, you know, these two lots, I don't know what the terms of the provincial legislation is in reference to the value of the two lots that we're talking about, lots 12 and 38. But for the last 30 years, and nobody knew this was coming, but I paid a lot of taxes on these lots, and there wasn't any expenditures by the municipality on this property whatsoever. And I know that I paid over $300,000 worth of taxes, and now I think I'm offering something that is beautiful and I think better parkland. And I just hope that the council doesn't think that they need some financial remuneration for these lots that have been held. Fortunately, I haven't paid taxes on those lots, nor have I paid taxes on the lots that were held in security on the roads, but all the balance of the lots that were held, I paid over $360K in taxes. So I would hope that we can agree on this.
Yeah, well, I understand, but that's what every developer faces, what you faced, only you've taken a little longer to get to get through the process here. So anyway, it's look, the homes in there look great. So, okay, well, we'll talk about this and we'll probably get back to you before long.
Okay, appreciate your
Okay.
time. Have a good day. I hope it goes
Yeah.
well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye now.
Resolution.
Be it resolved that council acknowledges receipt of the delegation from Greg Brown regarding parkland dedication for the Stothart Creek subdivision.
Could I have a mover and seconder, Barry and Walt. Oh, sorry, that's Nancy. See, she's hiding on me. Tammy, oh, okay, you got it? All in favor? Carry. Is he off there now? Okay. Finance and check summary. Anything to add to that, Barb?
No, just typical January where we have our insurance payment, and that was just over $400,000.
Okay. Any questions on that? Can't do much about that one. Resolution?
Be it resolved that council acknowledges receipt of the January 2023 check summary.
Mover and seconder. Walt and Pat, in favor? Carried. Okay. Tourism Relief Fund Grant.
Yes, so a good news story here through the FedEv stream of funding and their tourism relief fund. The municipality was successful in a grant application. And so the nature of the work is to improve safety in the Highland Street, York Street area, and to improve the lighting and visibility for both local and tourist traffic. So the plan is to have year-round pole lighting along Highland Street where the winter snowflakes are, and to provide lighting on the sidewalks throughout the night and darker months. So the total grant is $35,757, and that's funding 100% of the project.
Do we have an estimate on this, the cost of this?
Yes, the application was based on quotations for the work.
So we know we got enough money to do this job.
Yes.
Okay.
Or we'll work within it.
Pardon?
Or we'll work within it.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Resolution? Yeah, any questions on this? Resolution?
Be it resolved that council acknowledges this report concerning the Tourism Relief Fund grant, and that council supports the project to install year-round pole lighting on Highland Street and a light display behind the cenotaph on the corner of Highland Street and York Street.
That should make the BIA happy.
Sure will.
Yeah.
You bet.
Could I have a mover and seconder? Pat and Carm, all in favor? Carried. Thank you, Barb. Administration. This is asking for permission to change the name of the CPAC committee. And I just couldn't, I didn't have the opportunity to talk to the mayor of Minden Hills yesterday. I just don't know the rationale for this. I think when and certainly probably would support it at the CPAC committee, but I think it should be done there and come back to council. Just for the reason, and I'm not sure, because I think that's the place to do it. And especially when there's changes coming with the OPP and the local administrative body. So I do have a resolution there just to kind of, if Tamara would read it.
Be it resolved that Dysart et al. Council receives the resolution from the Township of Minden Hills requesting support to initiate participation from the Haliburton Highlands OPP for the creation of a Highlands Community Policing Advisory Committee, CPAC, and further that council will review the request and make a decision at a future meeting.
Okay. Okay, have a mover and seconder. Walt and Barry, all in favor? Carry. Okay. Okay, the next is a request from McKex for a parking spot on the Highland Street. Yes, please.
Okay, during COVID, the Emergency Control Group and Council approved the creation of patios on the main street. This is following up on our last term of council. It was directed that staff present something to this council in terms of allowing that to continue on a permanent basis. There was some discussion of consideration of fees for the exchange of parking spaces. There's been a change in the AGCO process now so that it's up to the municipality to approve it. And the businesses that want to make use of it will notify the AGCO of that. In the past, we've required a site plan to be submitted to the township, insurance, appropriate barricades that were approved by our Director of Public Works. And basically that the time period would be from the 19th of May through to the October 9th, Thanksgiving Monday. So that's basically what's happened. It's up to council.
Discussion?
Yeah, the previous years that it's been done, has there ever been any issues, like negative issues of any type?
The only thing I've heard that if it's close enough to the corner, it's tight for big trucks to get by. It's a safety thing there, so it would be nice just if we make sure it's moved down half a space or something, or a space.
I think it's a good idea, and it provides a little bit more variety to the main street and a bit more capacity to them too in terms of the restaurant size. So anyways.
Okay, resolution.
Okay. Be it resolved that council authorizes McKex Tap and Grill to make use of 3 parking spots for a temporary patio extension in 2023, provided that the following criteria is met. Patio plans must be submitted to staff detailing the patio layout. Owners must work with staff to ensure that appropriate barricades are put in place for safety and emergency access. McKex Tap and Grill must obtain and submit proof of insurance naming the municipality as additionally insured. And the patio must open no sooner than Friday, May 19th and must be removed by October 9th.
Okay, mover and seconder, Barry and Pat. All in favor? Carried.
Now, could I note that Maple Avenue is the other restaurant
Yes.
that has traditionally put them out? They haven't requested yet, but
Well, they have the opportunity. They'll see this.
Yep. just so you know, that may come forward as well.
Okay. Next is something that was added to the agenda. The land division appointment. Walt was appointed to that and I was the alternate. And we're suggesting that Pat Kennedy go on there because he's familiar with the files and just came off there, so it makes some sense. So I guess we'll, if there's no discussion on that, we'll have a resolution.
Be it resolved that council recommends the appointment of Patrick Kennedy to the County of Haliburton Land Division Committee for 2023 with Murray Ferry appointed as the alternate.
Heard that resolution, mover and seconder, Carm. Walt. Oh, I guess Nancy had her hand up. I'm always late looking up there. I have to look to you girls first. All in favor? Carried. Okay. So we're on to planning. Jeff.
Yes, thank you and good morning. The first item is a returning item related to the County of Haliburton's request for delegation of authority to implement and enforce a shoreline preservation bylaw. Council last reviewed this matter at their meeting on January 24th. At that meeting, council deferred their decision until such time that the County of Haliburton Council had discussed the bylaw, which to my understanding has now occurred. Staff seek direction from council how you wish to proceed. 3 resolutions are provided for council consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
So you've given council 3 options to delegate, not to delegate, and I guess do nothing.
And
Anyway,
to defer, yes.
defer, yeah, which is to do nothing, hardly. So is there a preference to read number? Let's read it to not number 2. I think that's where our heads are.
Be it resolved that Dysart et al. Municipal Council directs staff to advise the County of Haliburton that authority provided to the municipality under section 142 of the Municipal Act will not be delegated to the county to implement and enforce the shoreline preservation bylaw 4123 as currently written.
Okay, and having read that way, it means that we will go ahead with some form of a shoreline bylaw that is hopefully is simpler and more efficient, and that's onerous on taxpayers. So could I have a mover and seconder? Okay, Walt and Carm, all in favor? Carried. And I'm voting in favor of that as well. Okay, we can bring the boys back in. When I was being interviewed by Canoe yesterday, I said that I thought that we wouldn't be delegating authority, and she said, well, you haven't had the council meeting's not till tomorrow. And I said, yes, I know, but I said every one of the candidates in their campaigns said that they were not in favor of delegating authority or the bylaw the way it was written. So it was pretty easy to guess where it was going. So just so people think that I'm jump the gun there. Okay, Jeff, your interactive zoning map, which is a great idea. I couldn't get it to work, but anyway.
Oh, no. Well, come back and maybe we can give you a bit of instruction or show you how.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a good news story that I wanted to share with council. Danielle Vibert, our GIS specialist, has created and published a web-based interactive zoning map on our website for the public to be able to look up their own zoning. So this has been a goal and objective of the department for quite some time, and will provide a requested service to the public. It's designed to save staff time providing this information. It addresses several components of the strategic plan by enhancing and modernizing municipal customer service. And as of today, it has been viewed almost 400 times and it hasn't even been up there 2 weeks. So it's good to see it's being used. I think there's more demand from today's generation to be able to look up stuff themselves without having to use websites or to contact staff. So again, it's just a good news story that I wanted to share, and maybe get some free press for the public.
So the idea is you can go on there and see what zone you're in and
Yes, the tool is a searchable document. So once you log in, you can search for your property by your civic address or by your roll number, and it'll bring up your property and the zoning designation. And we do look forward to a lot of feedback. It is still a work in progress. We're trying to improve the loading time frame. So we do understand it can be a bit slow, but if everybody's patient, it does work.
it's a pretty good tool for people. Might save a lot of people calling in. They could be able to find out themselves.
Yep.
Well, I got you on there, Jeff. We used to always ask when you got a severance that you showed 2 tile bed areas. Do we still do that?
So we don't always request that. In our official plan, it's only required to do that for tourist commercial lots. There is a stipulation in our official plan for site evaluation reports where, say, lot area, lot coverage, the setbacks are really tight, that we can ask for a detailed site plan showing the proposed development. It still does not specify that 2 septic locations be shown, but past survey companies always did show 2 septic locations.
So it's the norm to do that.
It's ideal. It's certainly ideal.
Okay, that answers my question. Okay, so we have a resolution on the interactive zoning.
Yep. Be it resolved that council receives this report regarding Dysart's new interactive zoning map as information.
Mover and second, Barry and Pat. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, so we'll take a 10-minute, there's,
I was gonna say. Just the one that we deferred, pretty much said that, except for the cost.
but it doesn't name me and they want a name down there.
That was the second part of it.
Okay,
So if we just go back to that.
yeah, okay, sure, just add that. Okay, we take 10-minute break and then we'll go into closed session and,
Do you want to do this one quickly?
yeah, okay, there's one more resolution.
We're just gonna go back to the CPAC resolution. I think we just had a clarification on something. So if I can read that one again, we had Walt and Barry move and second it, so. I'm just gonna read a amended version if we can consider that. Be it resolved that Dysart et al. Council supports the resolution from the Township of Minden Hills requesting the support to initiate participation from the Halliburton Highlands OPP for the creation of a community policing advisory committee, and further that council appoint Mayor Murray Ferry to represent Dysart et al. On CPAC.
You okay with that?
Okay with everyone?
It's just that I've been there and it's all Reeves that are there, so, or mayors rather. I'm still a Reeve in my mind. Okay. Well,
We could do the other item.
we could go and we can go into close and do the other items. There's quite a few of those, so
And then have lunch and then come back.
we're not having lunch.
Oh, no, sorry.
How's the weather, Tammy, where you are? Don't tell me 30 again.
It's 26.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Well, I guess we don't do a resolution to adjourn. before I walk
Yeah.
away. One section, sorry. That's me not being on the ball, Murray, so keep me in line properly. Be it resolved that council adjourn its regular meeting at 1010 to discuss matters pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended pertaining to a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which if disclosed could reasonably expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organization, public works, wastewater infrastructure, and to discuss matters pursuant to section 239, 3.1 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the purpose of educating or training the members on recreational land and parkland dedication.
Okay, you've heard that. It's quite a lingo, isn't it?
Mhm.
Mover and seconder,
Nancy,
Carmen
Nancy's on the screen.
and Nancy or Tammy, which one? Nancy, all in favor? Carry. Okay. Now we'll take 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, Tamara, are you ready?
Yep.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not a text. Tammy, or I mean, Lori, we're good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Be it resolved that council sorry, yeah, go ahead. Be it resolved that council directs for an agreement to be signed with Clearford Waterworks Inc. to renew the contract for the operation of the sewage treatment plant additional 5 years with an annual rate increase based on CPI.
Okay, we have mover, seconder. Carm and Gary, all in favor? Gary,
Can we have the
confirming bylaw?
Be it resolved that bylaw number 2023-25 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular council meeting held on February 14th be read a first, second, and third time, passed, signed, and the corporate seal attached thereto.
Okay, have a resolution then? Okay,
And
Pat and Carm. All in favor? Carry,
and just adjournment.
adjournment.
Be it resolved that council adjourn its regular meeting held on February 14th, 12:26 p.m.
Okay, ladies, step up. Tammy, Nancy, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
folks. Thank you, folks.
Have fun down.